What's up, everyone? You're listening to the RAS Project. My name is Ivan Temelkov, and I'm your host on this podcast. We discuss entrepreneurship, personal development, family, tech, and marketing. Why should you listen to this podcast? This podcast is for those of you who are looking for life-changing advice and ways to thrive digitally with your business. As always, all content is 100% real, raw, and unfiltered. So there's sort of this trend right now in the marketplace with coronavirus and everything that's going on, the stay home quarantine. A lot of people are wondering, what should I be doing right now? In fact, I pushed out a video on my social media, if you've been following, talking about the fact that so many people are desperate. In this episode of the podcast, I want to talk about how to remain true to yourself amidst chaos, okay? And we are in the midst of a chaos. We're in the midst of a pandemic. A lot of people are calling it a zombie apocalypse even. If you ask me, I think in part that's exactly what's fucking happening. And a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, small business owners right now, are freaking the fuck out. And honestly, I have some thoughts to share about that. I've already shared some thoughts in a previous episode of the RAS Project. I've also shared stuff on social media and social video on IGTV. You need to go and pay attention to all of this stuff. But since you're here now, I want to focus on how to remain true to yourself amidst all of this chaos, okay? So the coronavirus, okay, the stay-home quarantine, this is a temporary thing. We will get through this. I think a lot of people are interpreting this as a sense of permanency, that coronavirus is here to stay forever, that stay-home quarantine is here to stay forever. A lot of people are fearing, a lot of people are panicking. And let me tell you this, as a father, as a husband, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I'm freaking the fuck out too myself. But there's a drastic difference between panicking and having fear and being reactive as opposed to being proactive, which is what you need to be anyway as an entrepreneur or just really in life. You just need to be doing more of what you've been doing that has been successful, right? So here's some tips that I want to share with you guys. And the first one is a panic and fear. Please understand that you don't panic, don't fear. Look, I panic every day. And if you've been following me for quite some time, you will know that I've lost a lot. Financially, I have lost a lot over the last probably 4 or 5 years. So I know what fear and panic looks like. But the one thing that you have to understand is that you should not allow that fear and panic to dictate the trajectory of what you're doing in life and in business. Okay? And that's the difference right there is can you be fierce? Can you be relentless? Can you be resilient? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, whatever other fucking title that you carry, you have to understand the resilience has to be at the epicenter of it. And you should never, ever, ever, ever allow panic and fear to overcome you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I could walk out the door right now and get hit by a fucking bus. That's the inevitable. And I think that people are implanting the inevitable in their heads, in their minds, to the point that it's clouding their judgment. That is what panic and fear is doing. Values and principles. You have values, right? That's what you abide by a human being. You have principles of things in your own life, in your own business. You shouldn't forget those just because there's this thing called coronavirus and a stay-home quarantine. I think a lot of people are doing that, just that. They're ditching their values and their principles because of coronavirus and stay-home quarantine. That is not being true to yourself. That is listening to what the herd is telling you to do, to what the world is telling you to do, what mediocrity is dictating. I never forget my own values and principles. I never forget where I came from, and I never will. It's something that I plan on teaching onto my kids. and the next generation, and so on and so forth. Please remember that. Honor your values and principles. Goals and dreams. This is the next thing I want to talk about. So many people are forgetting about their goals and dreams with coronavirus and stay home quarantine. They feel like they're limited. I'm going to be honest with you. Just over the last week to 2 weeks or however long now this thing has been going on, I've been far more hyper-focused on everything that I've been doing, more than ever before. Why can't you be? That's the question that I want to ask you. Why can't you be more focused on your goals, on your dreams? How much are they worth to you? Are you going to allow some pandemic to put a cap on your goals and your dreams? I don't know about you, but not me. So I will keep doing what I've been doing thus far because it has brought fruition to a lot of things in my life and in my business. And that's exactly what you need to be doing, is keep on chasing those goals and dreams. The next thing I want to talk about is routine. So I was actually reminded of this yesterday. I pushed out a video on this called "This is what hard work looks like." And it was me doing 100 push-ups, 50 air squats, and 30 chair dips in 45 minutes. And I'm sore as fuck today. In fact, I ended up taking ibuprofen because it felt like a semi ran my ass over this morning. And I still need to do another set of those today. I need to do 100 push-ups, 50 air squats, and 30 chair dips. It's part of a 5-day challenge. Now, why am I telling you this? Is because it's becoming a routine. And that's what people are forgetting amidst this coronavirus and stay home quarantine, is that the routine, sure, you might not be able to go to the gym, but you can exercise at home. And if you know anything about nutrition and exercise, 80% of weight loss is about nutrition. It's about what the fuck you put in your body. So think about that for a second. The fitness, going to the gym, is really more for sculpting and toning to keep you active. And that's important. I will tell you this. Losing weight, a vast majority of it is going to be based on what you eat and what you put in your body. So don't sit here and tell me, well, I can't fucking go to the gym, so my routine has been altered. That's fucking bullshit. If you watch my video, this is what hard work looks like. I was doing push-ups, air squats, and chair dips in my basement. Luckily, it's a finished basement, surrounded by my kids' toys. So don't give me that bullshit that you can't go to the gym. That's the problem with people, is just that it's the confined mentality and thinking that they're limited. No, your mind is limited. You need to expand your mind and keep on following that routine. Focus. Look, guys, the coronavirus thing and the stay home quarantine has taken a lot of people. It has distracted a lot of people, is what I meant to say. It has derailed the focus of a lot of people. And I'm going to be honest with you, that is exactly what the media wants you to do, because they want you to have your eyes glued on them. All right. And you need to understand something, that now more than ever is the most important time for you to focus. You see everybody on the internet talk about strength, right? Talk about how strong they are emotionally, physically, financially. But what you don't see a lot of is that true strength is tested during the hardest of times. This is a hard time. People are talking about a recession. We may even be in a recession at this point. I don't fucking know, because if you ask me, I don't even follow politics because they give me a fucking migraine. By the way, I don't even get migraines. That's my point, is focus, 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 focus. You're quarantined at home. You've got all the time in the world. Go and fucking focus. You're going to thank yourself later. And then another tip that I want to share with you guys is persistence. Consistency. Real success comes from consistency. Okay? And I talked about this recently. You know, I talked about in my Facebook Live the importance of consistency and my social media calendar that I've created. It has literally taken me ages to do it. And in part, it's because I'm so peculiar about the way that I wanted to distribute my content to ensure that I had a diverse mix. but it's consistent. It's like clockwork. I will fail. I will make mistakes. I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with that. But there's a difference between not trying and being consistent, because a lot of people want success, but they don't understand that consistency is at the epicenter of success. And the reason why there's only a few people that are successful in this world, whether it's life or business, is because they have developed a sense of consistency. They're like fucking clockwork, and you have to be. And there's so many benefits to that. So now being at home, I mean, honestly, it's 2:45 p.m. in the afternoon on a Friday. I'm actually recording this podcast late, mainly because last night we got a mass amount of hail here. Literally, it seemed like it was baseball size. I'm surprised the windows on my house didn't shatter. And I was up at 2:15 in the morning closing windows because yesterday was like 74 degrees outside here in St. Louis. And so I figured, okay, we'll air out the house overnight, right? And as a result, I was up at 2:15, couldn't get enough sleep, couldn't get up at 5 a.m. But that's just it. I had two options, is say, okay, fuck it, I'm not going to do the podcast, or do the podcast late. Because as an entrepreneur, there's always something. Literally, there's always something. And the busier that you get, the higher your opportunities are going to be, because you're being proactive. And there's something about the world and society, the way it reciprocates that to you. So please understand, consistency is everything. Consistency, consistency, consistency. And don't just take my word for it. I want you to go out there on social media and question some of the most successful and influential people that you follow in your own network, and watch what they tell you about success. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be consistency. But that is extremely hard. It's hard for a lot of people. A lot of people wish it. But only a very small percentage, I'm talking about 1% or less, actually follow through on that. And that's really, just to recap it in this episode, the coronavirus and the stay-home quarantine are not going to be around forever. It's a temporary thing. Panic and fear, please don't allow that to dictate the trajectory of your journey and your actions. Honor your values and principles. Please understand that your goals and dreams are worth the sacrifices and risks that you're taking, even now. Stick to your routine. Your nutrition, your health, your fitness, they're extremely important. Please do not get derailed by the media. Maintain focus. This is a challenge. This is a huge test, now more than ever. And please understand that above it all is consistency. Consistency is success. Look, guys and gals, I have one favor to ask from you. If you feel that I've given you some value in this podcast, some perspective, helped you make a change in your personal life or business, I would greatly appreciate it if you share this podcast with someone else. I'm not selling you anything or forcing you to buy shit you don't want. I'm simply asking you to share this podcast with other entrepreneurs or anyone who wants to make a change in their life and business. If you enjoyed the podcast and you keep coming back, it would mean the world to me if you share a review on iTunes, on Google Play, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, or any other podcast platform of your choice where you're getting this episode right now. It will help others, other like-minded folks, know about the nature of content and value that I share on this podcast, and give them a reason to listen. If you're also interested in sponsoring this podcast, I'm always looking for sponsors. You can email me at ivan@razorsharpdigital.com. Or you can also hit me up on Messenger, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn. And with that being said, God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the RAS Project. I truly hope it brought you some value. Until next time, peace out.